Welcome back to the Vikings Central Podcast. I'm throwing a bonus Wednesday episode in here for you guys. I know I said I was probably just going to do Monday and Fridays, but I really want to talk about this a little bit. Free agency is coming up before we know it, and there's going to be a lot more talk coming up. But I want to talk about Milton Williams and Trey Smith and which direction I think the Vikings should go if they had the option to pick one of the two. Now, they could both be re-signed by their respective teams. Philadelphia is going to want Milton Williams back. The Chiefs are going to want Trey Smith back. But it's free agency. It's the NFL. Players switch teams all the time. Would I be surprised if they return to their respective teams? No. It's a possibility. It's probably a good possibility. But, good players hit free agency all the time. And if those two are available, they should be at the top of the board for the Vikings, and Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores and just that whole front office. Those two guys at the top of your list. Our sponsor, that's Badass Butter. Use code VC15. Hit the like and subscribe button on the video. You guys support us either way over there. That'd be fantastic. All right, let's start with Milton Williams. We saw him dominate the Super Bowl. Dominated that Chiefs offensive line, and funny enough, Trey Smith was part of it. That whole Chiefs offensive line really struggled, and Milton Williams was a big part of it. And obviously, you got Jordan Davis, you got Jalen Carter, you got that whole front that just wreaks havoc. And they didn't blitz once that entire game. It's just the defensive line getting after it against a very good offensive line as well. So it was really, really good to see. Milton Williams was more of a rotational piece, but that's why I think he might test free agency, because he could get a full-time gig, and it could be with the Vikings. And Brian Flores will absolutely love his tenacity, his pass rush ability, just able to get after the passer, which the Vikings have not been able to do without blitzing. They need to send Ivan Pace Jr. They need to send Blake Cashman. They need to send Josh Metellus. They need to send Harrison Smith, Cam Bynum, cornerback blitzes. They have to do that to get after the passer. So go find a defensive tackle that can do it on his own. Milton Williams is one of those key guys that I think can really do it. Now, he's probably going to get around $20 million a year, which the Vikings have plenty of cap space. It would take a decent chunk out of it, but I think it'd be very smart to just go to our defensive line and plug him in, and he's going to be obviously a day one starter, but he's going to make an instant impact. You can move Harrison Phillips over to his more natural position, and just those guys clogging up lanes in the run game, and then obviously getting after the passer. And then, is Dallas Turner going to make that leap that we hope he can? You still got Andrew Van Ginkel. You still got Jonathan Grenard. Add Milton Williams to that mix. Be pretty amazing, to be honest with you. Now, moving over to Trey Smith. Yeah, he did struggle in the Super Bowl. He gave up a lot of pressures. He gave up some sacks. He struggled. I mean, they couldn't get anything going in the run game either. But he's got really good game tape. He's got a long history of being one of the best, the last few years especially, one of the best guards in the league. And we haven't had one of those in a long time. Stopgap. Dalton Reisner. Blake Brandel not playing his natural position. Dalton Reisner didn't even play his natural position. He was on the opposite guard spot that he's used to. And then obviously you got Ed Ingram, was kind of a failed experiment. And I think the Vikings would probably release him, save a few $1 million, and just get him off the books, because, I mean, he might be a capable backup, but you can find capable backups anywhere for the veteran minimum. And especially like veteran ones who can come in and be really rock solid for not a lot of money. But, just looking at Trey Smith, especially with J.J. McCarthy, I want a guard in there that can just hold the fort down. Is Garrett Bradbury going to be center still? I think he is. But with a really good guard, he's never had a great guard next to him. So I'd want to see what that looks like. And I think Trey Smith can come in and just be one of the best guards since, I'm trying to even think, Steve Hutchinson? Seriously? I mean, it's crazy to think about. We haven't had a really good guard play in a long time. I mean, our tackles have been great. Darisaw, Brian O'Neill, those guys are going to be here for the long run. Just really good football players, but we need to shore up that interior offensive line, especially going against defenses in the playoffs, if it is like the Eagles or like the Packers or like the Lions with Aiden Hutchinson. And guys that can just get up the middle and cause pressure up the middle. Quarterbacks hate that, especially young quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy's a young quarterback, and I think he's going to be really good in this league. But we got to keep the pressure out of his face. And if we do that, I think he's going to be successful. So if it was up to me, I'd go with a Trey Smith route. But if he gets priced out a little bit, and you can get Milton Williams a little bit cheaper, add to that defensive line. Give Brian Flores another chess piece to really get after the passer and take that defense to the next level. But those two guys, top of the free agency board for Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, and let's see what we can do. Thank you for tuning into the Viking Central podcast. Skol.